Hi there everyone, Jessica Broglie here. The purpose of this short screencast is to go over what does it mean to edit your site layout in Google Sites. So I'm sitting on a Google site and I'm going to go ahead and log in and edit the layout. So when I click on the settings gear in the top right corner, I'll go down to Edit Site Layout. Now what this allows me to do is just change the width of the sidebars or change the header or the footer, things like that. So let's take a look at what I can do. When I click on or hover over the header and I left click on the header, I can upload a logo or change the position of the logo. A lot of people think that this is all done under themes, like you customize the theme, but that's not true. You go into Edit Site Layout, hover over the header, and upload your logo there. Then let's take a look at the sidebar. When I hover over the sidebar, I see that navigation lights up, but I can also click the little pencil next to sidebar and I can adjust the width of the sidebar. I think on most Google sites the width of the sidebar is too narrow, so when you start typing words it will wrap around onto the next line and it doesn't look good in web design. So I always make my width approximately 200 pixels wide, and then I change the font size so it's bigger. I like my fonts to be at least 14, 16. So my sidebar I have changed. You just change the pixels. We'll go ahead and do an example here just for there. So my navigation now is 400 pixels wide, which is indeed too wide, so I'm going to go ahead and change that back down to 2. I can also decide if I want it on the left or the right hand side. So from there you can also click the plus sign and add text or additional navigation. So if we click Add under Navigation, we then can add additional elements. Now in my case it's extremely redundant because I've already built out my navigation. When you build your website, it will do this from scratch for you. However, it will do it alphabetically, and sometimes that's not the most appropriate navigation to have. For example, I like to build, if I'm making a training website, I don't want my navigation to be alphabetical. I want it to be chronological in the order in which training happened. So if you want to change that, you would insert your own navigation bar. So in my case, this would have been built automatically. I would delete this and click the plus sign and insert new navigation. And then here, I would change the word navigation to welcome. And I do not want it to automatically organize my navigation because it will do it alphabetically. So instead I'm going to control that by clicking Add a Page, and then I'll start clicking the pages that I made. So this is something you would build your navigation after you got a decent start. And maybe having it be alphabetical doesn't bother you. It did me though. So I could say I want Chromebook to come next. I gave my Chromebook tour, and then I talked about Classroom, and then I spent a lot of time on Google Drive. So I'm building it in the order in which I provided my training. So then I would click OK, and my navigation was built. So that's how I produced this type of navigation. So let me X out of that. Are you sure you want to delete the sidebar? Yes, I do. You would not delete yours after you made it though. So this portion here for me was originally done alphabetically, and I destroyed it and rebuilt my own by clicking on the word navigation and then building my pages accordingly. The only thing you have to remember is if you build additional pages after you build this navigation bar, you need to come back here to add those pages. It will not happen automatically for you because you have unchecked automatically organize my navigation. When I scroll back up, I see I can also click horizontal navigation if I want that. That would run across the top horizontal bar on my website. So that's another user preference. When you click in there, you can decide then, just like the sidebar, sidebar navigation, you can add pages. I'll go through and add a few here and click OK. And you can see it's building buttons across the top. When I make a website, I try not to be redundant, so for me, this navigation would be a repeat of everything listed on the side. So to get rid of that, I'm just going to click off of horizontal navigation so it disappears. I can also come up with a custom footer by clicking that button. When I click custom footer and scroll down, I can click in here and add text. I probably would add maybe a phone number and my email. And when I click OK, that will show up at the bottom of every page. So back up to the top here, I can also change the site width. Right now the theme that I picked determined the width, but if I want to change that, I can adjust it by percentage or by pixels. And for now, just for experience sake, I will put in 50% just so you can see a dramatic change. And when I do that, it reduces it by half, 25% on each side. I don't like websites that do that because I think it's a waste of digital space. So I'm going to go back up and leave it blank and put it back to theme default. There we go. So I think I've covered just about everything you need to know for editing site layout. Again, to get to that, you would click on the gear settings and move your mouse down to edit site layout. There you go. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck.